WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future, we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Yes, guys, welcome back to Eagle Eye Football. Welcome back to the match reaction. Yes, there was no build up to this. Yes, there wasn't anything because we all forgot to schedule it. But it is what it is. As always, I'm joined here with Mr. Statman Dan. How is it going, mate?
Yeah, okay. I've had quite a nice Sunday, actually. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, it's been okay. Got a really bad headache. So, you know, we did a little bit of Googling. How do you get over a bad headache? And Dan told me, don't get stressed. And I was sitting there watching a Man United game, getting very stressed because Man United didn't beat Ipswich. So we are now second bottom of the table, even after a good point yesterday. But it is what it is. And we're just here to talk about the game, really. I don't know why the thumbnails moved again, because I didn't do that. It was fine like a second ago. Oh, well.
Nobody knows.
Oh, well. All right, let's get into it. New formation, Dan. How do you think it went? Sort of a 5-3-2. Sarr and Mateta up top. Packed out the midfield a little bit more than we usually have done before with Devaney, Hughes and Decore. Decore gets his first start in quite a while, and Devaney keeps his space in the starting 11. Do you think that the new formation worked? Do you think that... What do you think?
I mean, I think it was pretty much just, you know, I think we're playing Villa, and he's just adapted it slightly with our injuries. I think obviously we got a good result, got a 2-2 draw. So I think, and I thought we played well as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it did work because I think, like we said in Tactical, I think Villa are very. One of the things they like to do is they like to use kind of Watkins and Rodgers together in that sort of midfield area. And obviously, if we got three players in that area, not including in this game, very aggressive centre-backs, then, you know, it's obviously going to make it a lot less likely for them to create chances. And in attack, to be fair, like when we did get into that final third, I kind of thought Devaney did fill in that normal kind of left attacking mid role that we usually see. But I think only more as like a supporting type role rather than like an actual outlet.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've played Villa already twice this season, I believe. And I think, to be fair to Glasner, I think that these few times, I think he's actually got it spot on. I think that both times we played them, granted, Villa may or may not have had their first team out in the cup game, but I feel like Glasner's maybe outclassed him tactically in both games because we seem to, even though we didn't beat them this time, I think that we definitely, with the people we had on the pitch, I think we definitely made a good account for ourselves, bearing everything in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, missing Wharton, and I think Decore, yes, I know he started, but, you know, I don't think he's fully fit. That's why he came off at 60 minutes. Obviously, no Eze either. And we did say, didn't we, on Tactical, Sarr's going to be very important. And then what happens within a few minutes?
Bangs a great goal, to be fair to him.
Exactly. And then I think the tactic was just keep doing that, basically. Keep exploiting their high line.
Yeah, when you definitely saw that even with who they actually played, I thought that their team was perfectly set up for us to play that exact game plan. Konsa was actually injured, so didn't play. Carlos and Pau Torres were the two centre-backs, and both of them aren't very fast. They thought they would start Digne, who's much more of a going forward kind of fullback and a defensive fullback. And then on the other side, they played a youth player. So, it only took until like 60 minutes until they actually put Matty Cash on, and when they actually took on, and then I think they took on, no, I mean, the other way around. Matson started, and then they brought on Digne. So, very interesting that even though very good fullback, Matson played in the Champions League final last season, which people forget about. Class fullback, but, they've sort of been talking about for the last few years. If you have someone with scary pace, even if they're not actually that good at football, they're going to be a massive plus into your team. That's just the epitome of what Adama Traore was for the last few years. And now I've actually got some serious pace in our team. You can see we created chances. But, Dan, how do you think Star worked a little bit more narrow and a lot more forwards instead of sort of being out on that right-sided 10?
I think I think that it's just the main objective. I think he's got a lot of pace to burn. The main objective is was to get behind that line and just try and exploit it. And to be fair to Mateta as well, he was really, really good. And I think that helped them to kind of link up the play. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would necessarily work as well if we were playing a team who doesn't necessarily play a high line. I think it was a purely tactical kind of thing. And then when defenders were getting isolated with Sarr and there's space around behind it, then he was exploiting that with pace. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily do the same thing against, say, like Ipswich or something like that.
100%. Rich, thoughts on our performance?
Before I get into it, I want to make a public apology for my lateness. For some reason, I thought it was 7:30. So I was getting the girls ready. Even though I said 7 o'clock, I was getting the girls ready. And Dan goes, am I in the wrong section? I looked at the field like, oh, yeah. So, yeah. But the game, yeah. No, I'm really happy. Really happy. I'm actually even slightly disappointed that we took the lead twice and couldn't keep hold of the lead. But to be fair, Villa had the lion's share of the ball. We had some last-ditch challenges, some decent saves, rolled a lot with Bailey hitting the post, missed penalty. So in the balance of it, to draw, I can't complain about. It's just sort of whenever we get a decent result, the teams around us get decent results too. So it's just like, we're stuck where we are. But all round, really happy. Yeah, finally, as Mela saw, we used it how we should be used. We mentioned in the preview, there's only two ways we can attack this game. Either we go through press or we play on the counter attack. And my goodness me, we were so good on the counter. And fair play to Sarr and Mateta, because their link up throughout the game was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think individual performances from those two specifically were both brilliant. I think that's probably the best bit of hold-up play I've ever seen Mateta do. That's definitely the best performance in the Palace shirt from Sarr so far as well. And I think what you can say is that, I guess, the further the season goes, the performances are there now. It's just the results to come now. So hopefully when Adam Wharton comes back in a few weeks, maybe when Eze comes back in a little bit, we could actually start to get these results by having a little bit more quality on the pitch. But there were some points in this game that weren't all sunshine and rainbows, let's say. And I think the main thing was how we were defending. I think we were defending very aggressively, and I think certain centre backs were a lot more aggressive than they potentially needed to be. I know Rich wanted to show some images here, so we'll let him
just beforehand. If I was to upload it into design, would it automatically come up, or would I have to click for it to come up?
It will automatically
I didn't want to just randomly see a picture.
If you upload it, it will automatically come up. So if you want to upload them as you go, and then it will sort of...
Right, let me do it that way then. Hopefully that would work. All right, so bear with me. They are on my desktop. Right. So just looking at, obviously, the Watkins goal from a defending standpoint. I'm just wondering if that has. It says upload complete. Oh, there we go. Right. Guess I didn't do a great job of blurring out that thing. That's
No.
annoying. Yeah. All right. Let me remove it then. So, Pau Torres' pass into McGinn was crazy, by the way. But on a defensive standpoint, their 3 attacking players, and obviously Watkins on the last man, are behind our midfield. So that's the first problem. Yes, once again, granted, it was a fantastic pass from Pau Torres, but there's no way they should be picking up the ball with McGinn in the middle. So if you know who played on the left hand side, Rodgers I think was on the left hand side at the time, Bailey on the right, and Watkins up front. So it's effectively a 4-3-3. I'm not going to put the other 2 images only just because obviously I didn't blur out the sponsorship as best as I can. Well, Maxence Lacroix, who had a very good game, was a bit too aggressive. And when you look at it, I know a lot of people said that Chalobah's too deep and stuff. Had Maxence Lacroix just kept his position, it's okay if McGinn's running towards him, you know, because the biggest threat is Ollie Watkins. The moment he vacated that space, Mitchell, who already had, obviously he had to keep an eye on Bailey, and also was trying to tuck in. Bear in mind, Gahey had gone forward at that stage as well. I just think Lacroix shouldn't have vacated that space. He left a gaping hole, and fair play to McGinn. It was a great pass into Watkins, and Watkins does the rest. I know Glasner wants us centre backs to play aggressive, but I feel now that every time we have been aggressive from the back, we've left gaps. So if we're going to do that, we're going to have to find a way of closing the gaps quicker, or just not be too aggressive in defending. Chalobah against Wolves tried to be a bit aggressive, missed the flight of the ball. Gay sometimes has tried to become aggressive, and it's just being popped around, and he's had to do recovery challenges. So I think it's something we've got to be very mindful of.
I think maybe devil's advocate from my part, up until that point, every time Lacroix stepped out of the line and was aggressive, he got the ball every single time. So maybe he was just really high on confidence when he actually went for that ball because he fully believed he was going to go and get it. Because I think up until then, there were some times where he stepped out and he made the challenge and got the ball. And I was thinking, you had no right to come away with the ball there. So maybe he did that just because he was high on confidence, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm with Rich on that one. I think, I think he doesn't really. I don't think he needs to necessarily step up that high in that particular situation. Because to be fair, I think every other time he won the ball, we'd managed to keep our defensive shape. But in this particular one, because I'm just going through the images now. We had a lot of players out of position. Like on the build up, I think Hughes gets done a bit too easily. Gay's out of position as well. And then that's the thing. Once our back three's out of position, I think Lacroix can't step up like that. Do you know what I mean? I think if Gay's there, then yeah, for your boots. But I think because they're out of position, you can't just then leave Ollie Watkins in that much space, in my opinion. But yeah.
100%. And also you can see that Chalobah's probably pulled out a bit too far wide as well if you want to be really nitpicky.
Yeah, I mean, here's I've just gone on to the highlights and just blurred out a load of stuff. So I'll get them up and then we can just talk about it a bit more detail.
Yeah, but just on, like I said, there's an actual still where you see that Lacroix automatically looking to run this way, and Watkins is already running that way. They're literally polar opposite directions, and I think you've got to nullify the immediate threat, which is Watkins. I think we could have recovered with McGinn running forward with the ball.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, can you guys? Oh no, it's not on there. Sorry, my bad. Here you go. So I agree because I'm looking at Mark's here, when obviously he should be over here. So then I guess theoretically Ty is doing his job, but he's also watching.
Snap! It's 5 players. In fact, 5 players behind the midfield.
I mean, I think there's a few things here. Like you said, that pass
it's ridiculous.
What the hell?
Look at where Munoz is. He's further forward than Hughes, right in the middle.
Silly. I can't remember exactly what the lead up to this was, but I remember at the time thinking, Jesus, we are well out of shape.
Hughes got nutmegged, and then the ball went out wide.
Yeah.
And it kind of like it bobbled up in the air and stuff. Like what Paul Torres did was just ridiculous. We just have to it wasn't anything spectacular. He just saw a gap and just exploited it. That pass is ridiculous, by the way. So the simple pass was for him to go out wide.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would have been the thing. And I think, like I said, I agree. I think in this situation when Gay's over here and you've got this massive gap here, I just think you can't just leave the middle of the pitch like that.
Yeah.
You
can see, like I was saying, Watkins is already running one way and Lacroix's the other. Lacroix should be thinking, follow Watkins.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because at the very least, if he just stays there and matches his run, at the very least, it has to be it would have been a really good. It had to been a really good ball over the top, or they go out wide. Yeah, or he has to beat him for pace, which he's really quick. So I think in my opinion, he shouldn't be stepping out. If Gay's back over here, then whatever, that's fine. But he's not in that particular situation. You just gotta.
Do you happen to have the one where right before McGinn passes it?
I've got it just as he's passed it.
Just after. But look at that gap.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, because at the time I was thinking, why isn't Ty covered? But this happens in literally 2 seconds, and then
But when you think about it, both Trevor and Ty have players that they're occupying. Maybe Lacroix didn't communicate. We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know, but it was literally, it was so quick.
But yeah,
just thought I'd share that regarding the first goal we conceded.
I think also there was a lot of breaks of the ball in the during the game where it'll be a 50-50 challenge and they come away with it, but that's just the luck of the game, really. I think the only other thing that I'd really want to talk about is Dan, I know you're gonna hate me saying this, but I hate zonal marking. It doesn't work. It really doesn't. And I know Glasner likes it at corners, but it really doesn't work.
I don't like it either, so I agree with you.
Because
my issue is the most basic thing in the corner is have someone on the posts. Why have we stopped doing that? I mean, I think in football, football has just stopped doing that. If there's someone on the post, I think they headed it away.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that it was Barkley made the front post run, got ahead on it, and it went just over. The ball went out for another corner, and it was Barkley again, and he scored. It doesn't work. Just go man for man in the box, please. Because you saw what happened. You saw that because we have all of our centre backs, bang, all in the centre where the 6-yard box. So there was obviously Gay had his spot, Lacroix had his spot, Chalobah had his spot, and then what you saw was you had Villa players, multiple of them, occupying both of their space. So they're sort of both sitting there he's half in my space, half in your space. Who picks him up? And then there's 2 of them as well. So there's already an overload there. And all Barkley has to do is just move outside of the zone ever so slightly, and he's closer to the goal than the penalty spot, and he's got no one marking him. Just get rid of zonal marking, please. Stick someone on the posts. Stick your biggest guys on their biggest guys. Don't know if that's a pause, but I'm just going to pause myself before it even starts. But it's just simple defending. It really is. Front post, back post, your biggest players on their biggest players, and then everyone else fills in, and then have 1 or 2 players up just in for a counter attack. That's how you defend the corner. You don't do zonal marking. It don't work.
You made a great point there, JC. The fact that we have probably our best 3 headers of a football in Gay, Chalobah, and Lacroix standing in the 6-yard box. They're the ones that should be literally posted up man for man. It was against Fulham even. We saw it was Klein and Mitchell, who were probably our two worst, were the ones marking Anderson and Jimenez. You know, it didn't make any sense. You know,
And
so
also,
yeah, that
if
needs to start. And
they're
also,
doing,
I was
sorry,
just gonna say, if there's also standing there, there's no running jump. You're gonna get
Yeah.
no elevation on your leap.
I've got a screenshot. Here we go. So yeah, that's exactly what I thought. The only time I think when it's okay, I think if someone's standing on the front post to try and block that, to do that, that's fine to block the flick on. But yeah, I agree. Like I think Barkley's there, and I think he ends up here, and then it's just basically a free header. He's got a running jump on the rest of the defenders.
yeah, and if our zonal marking people are all static, they're not going to get as much height. They're not Ronaldo. They can't jump that high.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
Now we have 0 players on the post. Right, okay. I understand the near post because you got the front player by this edge of the 6-yard box, but someone needs to be back post. Like, it's just the basics. I don't know why football's gone away from that, but
It doesn't make sense for me at all. Rich, do you want to take us through some comments, please?
I will do so. Have you done any?
No.
Cool. Big up, Chairman.
Big up,
Big
Chairman.
up, Tim. It was a very good point. Big up, Ron. Little disappointed that I should never got on the pitch. Yeah, so am I actually. I have a theory. Schlupp is a double agent. He's playing against us. Yeah, it was always, it's weird because we brought Schlupp on and we lost any sort of impetus. That they took off, I don't know who they took off, but they brought on Philogene and Buendia, and then they lost sort of momentum.
Again, that's why.
Yeah, granted, Schlupp was unlucky. That was a very good save from Martins, by the way. Tim said there, 3 straight results against Villa with 2 of those at their place. Yep. So I was having the game of his life, should have had another goal. Yeah, his volley kind of shanked it. But he had to take it first time, to be fair. At first, I was thinking, you got time to bring it down. Then I realised there were 2 Villa players on him. Matson was having nightmares. Sarr was fantastic.
Here's a question for you guys. I've seen a bit of Sarr now. Who is faster, Sarr or PVA?
Sarr.
Really?
Sarr. Yeah, Sarr. PVA wasn't mad quick from what I
he
think.
was. But I think Sarr is faster.
And Sarr's got crazy strides with it as well. Crazy strides. I've changed my name now, because it did come up as JC. Big up day. Louis saying that the first goal was avoidable. Yeah. Chalobah's ball watcher not tucking in, which we could see as well. Yeah, but like I said, I think he also had a player to the right hand side. You know, if Lacroix holds this position, that's the only place it's going, either out wide or through the gap to Watkins. But Lacroix's starting position is a lot better.
To be fair, there were quite a few points in that game where Chalobah was ball watching and the ball just got played around him, and then he was in no man's land.
Yeah, he does that a lot, to be fair. No, I'm late, y'all. Malcolm couldn't make the squad. I give up. What a great result for us. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, they lost 6-2 today, so.
Dog, what's going to happen when Abure ends up in National League?
He's going to support that team, isn't he?
Tim again. For me, it looks like some of the basketball influence in Glaston's thinking, playing the pass that leads to deny the ball, which is high risk, but also high reward. Big up outlet from Vietnam, as always. Glad with the performance. Yeah, it was a good one. Yep, zonal working. Definitely didn't work yesterday. Was Mitchell there? Then he got a yellow. Was he already in the booking at that time?
Mitchell got booked after.
Yeah. Important thing we beat Charlton today. Yeah, big up to the women. Lacroix or Sarr?
I think Sarr again.
Who's quicker? Yeah, but Lacroix's strides are crazy. But yeah, It's terrible defending. And big up to Kid Junior who says "yo" with the emoji. I think that's all the comments. Yeah.
There were some times where I thought that the game was done because they played a very nice counter attack and Watkins was through on goal. But the recovery run from Maxence Lacroix, incredible. And also the challenge as well. Did enough to not give away a penalty, but also got enough of the ball to not allow Watkins to settle and to hit it home. How do we get this guy for 14 million? Please tell me.
You know what, dog? If that happens, I would let you do that. It's a win-win situation.
That's too fair. Lacroix's recovery speed is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it is
ridiculous, and he's done it a few times. To be fair,
I think he's so well made for that high line final centre back when he's not jumping out of it. Like you say, like, cause even though we play a high line, there's a big gap there because of his pace and because he wants Henderson to like come off his line so quick. Like that gap almost becomes tiny.
Mm-hmm. What else? Sar's goal was really nicely well taken as well.
very good. Yeah, very nicely taken.
It was a very nice play, playing around. Mateta gets a ball, puts a great ball in behind for Sar to run into. But Sar's touches were a lot better than they have been in the last few games because his first touch was great to take it out and get away from him. And I think his second touch was actually even better to actually go across Maatsen. So even if he gets taken out, it's a red card anyway.
Yeah.
And then also the fact I think he's very, very strong as well as a player. I wasn't expecting him to be as strong as he is because he's holding him off very easily. The dog's violating me here,
I just put in the private chat like a quote to I saw on X. Obviously, I don't want to mention it here because it's a bit mad still. Max paralyzed Max. That's crazy.
You know what? I said this to Chairman. On the way home from the Fulham game. Who's worse, Kamada or Max Meyer?
I think it's got to be Max Meyer. Like he didn't even play. Like he got one goal against like Doncaster or something, and like
I was at that Doncaster game and he was rubbish.
But then, do we bring out the argument again? Like Roy played him as a right midfielder. He's never been in the Premier League, which means he has to do that job.
And he was never fast.
And he did play under Roy as well, so that is
Roy tax as well.
That is a caveat.
Mm-hmm. But I think we're just missing the point of the best part of the whole game. That penalty save.
Oh,
it was 57 seconds.
Wow.
That penalty save. Henderson, there were question marks on your head. £20 million for a goalkeeper. We got Sam Johnstone for free. He can't kick a ball properly. Sam Johnstone ain't saving that pen. Sam Johnstone making half the saves he's made for us this season. He's been an integral part of our team this season, and he's been very underrated. So those apology forms, we need to get them back out again. I can't lie to you. But then the fact that
on that, though, do any of you think that was a penalty?
Yeah.
I think it's very soft. I think now you're going to start having to nitpick any little foul in the box. I think there's going to be a problem.
I think it was soft, but I can see why he's given it.
Obviously, when you slow things down, it looks worse. Like Hughes hasn't put a challenge in; he's just getting himself goal side.
I would disagree. I think he has put a challenge in because he went for the ball, I guess, through the back of the player, and by doing that, he's put studs up on the ankle, and that's a booking and a pen, really.
I mean, considering what happened afterwards, I think it was definitely a penalty. I think the ref's got that absolutely spot on.
But yeah, that counter attack, by the way.
Yeah, I
Like,
think in my opinion, the best part of that whole counter attack was the fact that Decore waited and waited and waited and then put the pass through. He waited until
that
Aston Villa players
delay.
committed towards him and then he flung the ball. Because if he hit it early, you know, Saar had I guess less breathing room. But then because he waited, he allowed Saar to pick up speed and then start clearing. And also that the ball was played to perfection. If you look at the lines, Saar was literally just about to go offside as he was running. So it was perfectly weighted, perfectly played, and Decore, even though you saw that there was a little bit of ring rust there, if you can keep him playing, if you can keep him fit, he's one of our most influential players in this whole team. Unbelievable player.
It was that because what did he rolled the ball over and then outside the boot, like it just looks so like aesthetically pleasing, you know. Really, really good passage of play. And fair play to Saar, because I thought he delayed it a bit too much at one point. And you know what? I know it sounds mad, but here's attention to detail. If Mateta didn't even attempt to slide, I don't think Veni gets the chance, because it takes out one defender who now has to go towards
JP.
Mateta. You know, so even though it's a slide where he's never getting towards it, it's important detail. And the finish in itself.
Bear in mind how left-footed he is to score a goal like that on his right foot.
I've just seen the text message.
So I started cracking up halfway through. Nicky's catching strays.
Yeah.
Paralyzed Jordan Much.
Fraser Campbell.
On that note, if you like us to do some more footballing content, we are planning Easter holidays and summer holidays. But if we could get some more done beforehand, we would. If you're not enjoying it that much,
I guess I need to start doing
man.
some training. But obviously, the goal went in. The celebrations from Devaney, they were okay. But Hendo, that's the best knee slide I've ever seen in my life. From a goalkeeper as well. Someone on Twitter said, only Crystal Palace have two separate knee slides on two opposite sides of the pitch. Oh, man. But
it was unbelievable. It's so crazy because, like, I was like laying carpet in the flat whilst this was going on and stuff. My mate was around to help me, and he's got a standing knife and he's cutting. And I'm meant to be holding the carpet tight. Oh, get it.
But yeah, man, that knee slide was incredible.
I think one of the edges was a bit jagged after that.
Well, you know what you can say when you look at that corner, you'll say,
you always remind you.
that was Justin Devaney.
That's the Devaney corner.
The Devaney corner.
And then in a few years, you're like, why is that side not right? I'll never know. Yeah, so me and Chairman did our player ratings, so I'll let you two do your player ratings, and then we'll open the lines, and then we will...
You're too nice to Tim.
Okay, joking. Tim.
No, it's fine. It's going to be annoyed.
All right, you guys argue amongst yourself about who goes first, but Henderson.
9.
Oh, just for the knee slide?
Just for the knee slide. Otherwise, it would have been an 8. But that knee slide's a 9. And none of the goals conceded were his fault. So...
Mitchell.
It was okay. I don't really remember him much in the game, to be honest. 5.
Mark Gay.
What?
What?
What did he say?
Mark. I'll give him a 7 because I think Lacroix should get an 8 or a 9. I think Lacroix was better.
Maxence Lacroix.
I'm going to give him an 8, but just because it was like I feel like he did make a mistake in the goal, and the corner that led to their second goal, I think he messed up there
that
too. I think he messed that
between
up
him
as
and
well.
Chalobah.
Yeah.
Trevor Chalobah.
Speak of the devil.
Can I make a slight change, Dan, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think Mitchell was that bad. Can Chalobah go to 5?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't really remember
Really
Mitchell in the game, to be honest.
I think he defended very well. It's one of his better games because he's been very exposed lately, as in like his attacking flaws. But he kept everything really simple yesterday. I think he had a decent game.
Daniel Munoz.
I would say I think he was better than Mitchell, so I guess based on that 7.
Will Hughes returning from his suspension.
10 for not getting a yellow card.
He did.
Oh, he did? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Well, if we're going by Dan's logic here in saying that the penalty was the best thing that happened for us because then we saved the penalty and went out there and scored, Hughes gets a 10. However, if we're speaking objectively, I'll give him a 7. I think it was a solid performance all around for him. It was good to have him back because we might have struggled in the middle of the park.
Check Doucouré.
See, I think he was better than Hughes. I think he's definitely still a bit rusty. You can tell like he's not quite as mobile as he once was, but I think that'll come with time. But an 8. Oh yeah, I think an 8's fair.
Second start for Crystal Palace, Justin Devaney.
Give him a 9. I don't care. Like just absolute scenes, and I think he had that 10 role. He played very well, considering it's away at Villa. I think he had a very good game. So, yeah.
I mean, considering like that's not his natural. I mean, I know a lot of the time he was playing as like a left-sided midfielder, basically. But when he was joining that attack, like that's not. He didn't do that in like. Well, he wasn't his role in the under-21. So yeah, fair play to him. Like,
absolutely.
Ismail Sarr.
Well, he was my man in the match, so I'll give him a 9. I thought he was quality. Obviously scored the goal, could have messed it up. Created a lot of other chances between him and Mateta. Yeah, I thought he was quality.
Finally, for the starting 11, Philippe Mateta.
I'll give him an 8, even though he was really, really good. Yeah. I think obviously just the contribution of the other 3 were just a bit more telling, I'd say. But yeah, he was really good. His hold-up play was superb yesterday.
On to the first sub was Lerma for Check Doucouré. I don't know if you guys agree, but I think that this was a predetermined substitution to take him off at 60, just to preserve him.
Yeah, I think so, because I think it was reported that in a behind doors friendly day he played 60 minutes or something like that. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I think he gets. It's either 8 or a 7. I'll give him a 7 because he wasn't on for like that long, really. 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Rich, your Ghanaian brother, Jeffrey Schlapp.
He came on and we looked just like it was just but he nearly won the game for us. So I'm gonna give him a 6. I give
Not
him a
10.
6. No, not 10. I was yeah, it's very unfortunate. It was a very, very good save from Martinez.
Yeah. I think that's Schlupp's highest rating in the season, isn't it? So far.
Chris Richards and Nathaniel Klein, they weren't on for long enough, so I've just put them both at 5s.
Yeah.
OG, where does he go?
I mean, I think he got the tactics pretty spot on. I think he was only let down by just again like individual mistakes, zonal marking. Yeah.
And that's a great away point. If we had won 10, I'll give him a 9.
I was going to go at 8, but yeah, let's stick it at 9. The only thing I would say is I don't know if actually no, Schlupp did an okay game, I guess, so I won't moan too much.
Yeah, the reason why I would say a 9, think about our front three, Sama, Teta, and Devedi, effectively. You know?
100%.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay. Tim, it's your time. The link is in the chat.
Anyone else, not just Tim, anyone else could jump in.
Yeah, anyone else can jump in. But we'll see Tim in a few seconds, so don't worry.
Hey, for Bantry, still making the player ratings.
Tim,
Here
welcome
he
to the
is.
player ratings.
I like those player ratings. Those were good. We don't need to do them again. I like that.
Go on, Tim. Would you change any of them?
I would have given Glasner an 8. I agreed with Dan on that, but I have no issue with a 9. I do think it's deliberate that I think we were playing on the counter, but can I add a little bit of context to what I mean about the basketball influence? Because I feel like I'm not being very, very clear. Like,
just before that, was we correct with Mitchell? Because I know you're a very big Mitchell advocate.
No, I think you're right on Mitchell. I mean, but I'll give you. You guys made Sarr man of the match, and I think you make a really good point about that. I think Lacroix was my man of the match, and the reason why is, I mean, you could argue about XG all you want. I think it's I could take it or leave it, but according to the Athletic, the XG Villa's XG was 3.11. I think the only reason it's not higher. I'm sorry, the only reason I think Max Lacroix saved us 1, maybe 2 goals, even though I would agree that he was aggressive and both those goals are preventable. Those are preventable goals, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, good God. I mean, he is amazing. He's amazing. Just the recovery pace, the way that he gets in and makes a challenge. I mean, you can't say that this was the moment of the match, but it was so glorious to watch him come in and make that sliding challenge on Watkins and see the look on Ollie Watkins' face. Like, how the hell did he just take that from me? That was amazing. So I'm very big on Max Lacroix. I think he's unbelievable. So I think you could make a good argument for him as man of the match, but I wouldn't argue about Sarr as, Sarr had an unbelievable game. But what I mean about the basketball influence is what he's playing to me is he's playing a press without playing a press. So like if you're playing on the counter like that, like in basketball, if you're not playing a full court press, you can play a half court press. So you could play like a 2-3 matchup zone. And what you're doing is you're denying the pass. I'm going to deny the passer. So I'm going to try to, if you want to get an open pass, I'm going to force you to take a skip pass. So a skip pass, meaning you can't pass to the person next to you. You have to go over the top. You have to go over the top. So you're going to go to the backside. In this case, I'm going to force you to go over the top. I'm going to force you to go into the channel. I'm going to force you to make a pass that's going to be a low odds pass, a low percentage pass, so that I have a better chance of intercepting the ball higher up. And the thing you can do with that kind of press is it gets you into the fast break like that. When it goes off, when it doesn't go off, what ends up happening is if somebody skip passes you and bypasses you, then you're on the backside and you have a wide open 3-point shot. That's the bad part of it. The good part of it is when you are denying the pass and you're pressuring the ball without doing full court pressing, you get into a fast break really quick and you get a lot of points without sacrificing yourself. Like, you don't exhaust yourself with a team that is maybe faster than you, which I think Villa has a lot of pace. So I thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant. I think it was completely deliberate. All of those very aggressive challenges that left wide open spaces, which are kind of not great. I don't like us leaving a lot of wide open spaces, but I kind of see what he's doing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To be fair, I think the aggressiveness is a good thing. Like, as JC said, like there were a lot of times where Lacroix did push up aggressively and win the ball. But yeah, it's just that particular occasion. I think because Gay wasn't back as well, then that's when he needs to just calm down maybe a little bit and hold the play up.
Yeah.
Context.
Yeah.
A lot into it.
Do you think I have multiple questions for you guys, but the big one is, so do you think Newcastle that Ebbs comes back as a starter? Because I wonder whether or not Glasner would start with the same lineup and choose to pull Ebbs in as a sub at like 60 minutes as an impact sub. Let him get a little extra rest, because Devaney does not look in any way out of place. I think we lose very little if he starts against Newcastle. What do you think?
I think Ed starts. Here's why. He actually told Glasner he was ready for this actual Villa game, and
That's
Glasner
true.
said he'd give
He
him a
did
day
say
off.
that. Yep.
The second reason, if we are going to play on the break, which I think we should have played exact same way and play on the counter against Newcastle, who would you like to play a ball behind their defence, which is slower than Villa's, by the way? You'd rather an Ebbs. So that's just my request.
I think ultimately as well, like I said, I like Devaney, and I think he didn't look out of place at all, and he obviously played well. I think if you were to play Devaney, though, I think it kind of should really be in that middle of the park, where unless he wants to do the same thing where he wants to pack that middle out again if he wants to, because he isn't a left-sided attacking midfielder. Do you know what I mean? I think. I'm trying to think who's Newcastle's defenders on that side of the pitch. I mean on the left hand, I see on the left hand side you'll have Lewis Hall, who's not that slow from what I remember. So I think,
isn't it Target that plays
on
that right hand side, isn't it?
Left hand side.
No,
And Livramento normally plays on that as right back.
Devaney tracking Livramento might be a bit. Yeah.
Will Ebbs do it any better?
But I think there's just a bit more experience, I'd say.
Yeah, and I agree with Rich. Like, if a ball's being played to a player in an advanced position, say between the lines, who would you rather do that? Would you rather Ebbs or would you rather Devaney? I'd probably say Ebbs. But that is a question for Tactigo on Tuesday. Tune in, everyone.
Well done.
Yeah.
Just based on I don't know what back four they'll play tomorrow, but the one that they had against Forest was Lewis Hall, Dan Burn, Fabian Shaw, and Livramento, which doesn't. The centre backs are not quick.
Yeah, centre backs not quick.
Shaw is a little bit like Max Lacroix in the sense that he likes to jump out of the back line and make a tackle. So in that case as well, if you put Ebbs into the front three of Mateta and Sarr, you could probably imagine him skipping past Fabian Schär and then creating a 3-on-3 situation if that's the case.
Could we? Do you think we can adopt, like, one of the best parts of this game? You guys all called it out. Is the player at the front line coming short most of the time was JP, and he was incredibly effective at it because he makes a quick decision once he comes short. He receives the ball, and it's either a quick turn or it's he watches for the runner getting beyond him, and he makes that quick pass and then runs into the space behind, so he's available for the cutback. He's great. He's fantastic at that. And could we have that so that it isn't Ebbs that's coming short and it's Ebbs that's running into space, so that maybe it's JP that's finding him?
You know what could happen? That pass, less whether it's Gray or Max, could go into Mateta, who's dropped in deep. That could be set to Ebbs and Ebbs through to Sarr. Like the one that Sarr was offside for, and him and Mateta messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what it was. Mateta dropped deep, set it, and bang. You know? Like I said, we play. In all honesty, up until we get all our players back, I just say we play counter-attacking football. You know, they're going to be fearful of Sarr on the break, and he's showing his pace, his power. Yes, we want to press. Yes, we want to keep the ball a bit more. But we saw how effective we were against a very good Villa side in just saying, you know what? Bang. Just quick.
Yeah.
Each and every time. Just play that way until we get points on the board and we get players back, and then we hit that January transfer window.
Just to add on to that as well, because that kind of reminded me something. I think, funnily enough, against Newcastle last season, Eze's average position was higher than Mateta's, which I thought is interesting. And I think Eze last season was definitely receiving a lot of balls over the top. So yeah,
and he's responsible for that second goal. That beautiful. I mean, he starts the move that goes to Ayew and then Ayew into Mateta, and you have Ebbs with the arms up before the goal goes in. So yeah, more of that, please.
100%.
Do you think that Sarr now is nailed on as the right-sided attacker? Because I hope so.
I mean, over Kamada, I think it's got to be, doesn't it?
But it raises a big question, doesn't it, Dan? Because if he's nailed on as the guy, we're going to go into January looking for some depth. I would prefer it if we get some depth in attack. I'd rather get a veteran. I'd rather get somebody who's not going to block Jez, and I would rather feel confident that we're going to get production out of that right side from Sarr. And if I can feel confident about that, then let Jez stay where he is and keep developing, because he had a beautiful assist and he had a real nice goal. I mean, he is actually developing at Sheffield United, and it's a tough call. If he comes back and he doesn't start, you're going to ruin him. He's doing well right now. But I think it's incumbent upon we have to believe that Sarr or somebody is going to fill that spot, because it's the desperation that makes us let's bring back Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've had reports over the last couple of days about Ryan Shirky, who I thought we should have got in the summer anyway. Granted, I know he said he didn't want to join. We have to get him in January.
Now they have to sell. That's the difference.
We have to get him in January. You know, even if it pays slightly over the odds, just get him in.
Well, because Texas going to want as much money as possible, because he's got to make £400 and something million by the end of the football year, by the end of the season, basically. And he's going to have to try and get as much. He's going to have to make as much money as possible from every single player he sells. So if we want to pay a little bit over the odds, he's going to take us, even though he doesn't want to sell to us. He's going to take that option because he has to make up the money as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm going to take the other side of that for a second. And the way he's going to make that money, JC, is not going to be the majority of that money is not going to come through sales.
No,
It's
he's
going
going
to
to sell
come.
Palace, no?
Yeah, it's going to be selling Palace, and then he's going to raise a boatload of cash in a public offering here in the States. That's where the money's going to come from. It ain't going to come from a bunch of sales. Although I don't disagree with you. I like it if the time to get Cherky, if we're going to get him, is 1,000,000% January. I fundamentally agree with that. But he ain't going to get money with like sales of players. That's not going to happen. It's going to be selling his Palace shares for whatever he can get, and then cleaning up the books enough that he can run a public offering in the States and raise 500 million.
Mhm.
That would be something I could see him trying to do.
Does he has a majority share of Leon, doesn't he?
Yes, he can. Like
So then he can actually put them on the stock exchange, because that's the only
right.
reason why he hasn't done it with Palace, because he hasn't got a majority share.
Exactly. If he clears Palace off the books, and then he has nothing but held assets. So the books are clean, everything looks right. He can value it the way he wants, and then he puts Eagle Football Holdings on the New York Stock Exchange. Yes, he'll be able to raise a bunch of money, and he'll be able to go to the French football authorities and say, "See, look, I've got the money you asked for." Like, I think that's the plan.
Mm-hmm. But with Cherky, though, if let's say that we're looking at Cherky, I don't actually think that would block Jez in the coming years.
Okay, interesting. Why do you say that?
Because I've got a feeling at the end of this season that Ed will go.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Cherky, because of how bow-footed Cherky is, he'll just move on to that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Got it. So he could. Yep.
Well, when I watched him, I think it was this time last year. Honestly, I'd never seen like Sani Cazorla. He used to like take corners with like both feet. He's like that level of two-footedness. It's ridiculous.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he still only like 21?
Yeah, he made his debut like really, really young. He made his debut when he was like 17, I think.
Unbelievable.
Ryan Cherky is born in 2003, so he's 21 years old.
Wow.
Jeez. Get him in.
Wow.
Now that the rumors are back, because I thought that was gone. I thought it was finished. Now that these rumors are back, I was obviously advocating for like a Mark Edwards, but get this kid in.
Yeah.
In January.
I was going to say, so Durfer is asking, given Leon is broke, why buy in January? It isn't about Leon being broke. It isn't about Leon being broke. It's about everybody else that will be able to bid on him in the summer. That's why you go in January.
Yeah, and I'm sure teams like Dortmund will be looking. Like there'll be other teams interested.
Dortmund tried in the summer.
Yeah, so we're going to have to say, listen, we're actually going to have to be like, John, we need your help here.
Yeah.
We need your help here. We want this player.
You help me, we help you.
Yeah. Let's just hypothetically say we go 15 million to like a Fulham, we'll give you 20. Like, that's what we're going to have to do.
Yeah. I mean, and I mean, the guy owes us one too. I mean, given what he's put us through with França, come on, man, you owe us one. But no, we do have to scratch his back a little bit. And I think we'd be happy to be honest. I think it's actually a little better. They would like to see him get what he wants and move on, because I think everybody just wants that. We're ready for it. I am too, to be honest. I don't know who the next owner is going to be, but I'm ready to move on from John Textor, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real. All right, last couple of comments. Then we'll look to wrap up. Big up Leona. Says here, how's everyone? Really good performance yesterday. Great save by Hendo, absolutely.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Pete here saying that fully expects Tavelli to be permanently in the squad now. I think so too. Oli said he will still be a big player for Palace, but managed accordingly. Still want to see Asher play some minutes. Oli, come on. Let me scroll down. Okay, this one from the dog who says, JC, work on your movement, follow your pass for training. Rich, I want the confidence higher. I'll make sure I do that. And Nikki, Kitman. And Dan, player manager. Let's go, yo. To be fair, Dan can play. Dan can actually play.
I'm all right. I'm okay.
What else was there? Let's see, Tim, you had a conversation with Mitch regarding the yellow card. Mitch saying Hendo man of the match, which is a shout as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Chairman got to see a game at Madison Square Garden. And be always on the mark, but
Yeah, they
cuts
play
through it.
Yeah, they play a lot of zone. It doesn't. You can't play man to man either. Not in the NBA, Chairman. At least not very well. It's but then again, they don't really care. That's why you have very high scoring games.
Good point. And I believe Ike was trying to say that Villa fans were too confident and stuff. It's very interesting to see that they've when we beat them in the cup, it was like it was our B side. They've not really said anything this time, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. So sad for Kamada.
Yeah,
You think Kamada gets sold in January?
No, too soon.
Throwing some magic beans as well for that one.
And JC, please can you say shut up, you waste man?
No.
Oh. Boo.
Yeah, boo. Our community wants that. You should say it.
Could also have called him a pagan, and I would have taken that too.
I'm okay.
Right, is there anything else, guys? If not, that's because I saw the comments time.
I don't think so. I think that's all.
All good.
Guys, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope we get the result against Newcastle. The performances are there now. It's just the results that need to happen now. But guys, thank you very much for watching. And as always, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.